Alrighty, folks, we are about to get into game number 2 between Legacy Esports and Team Pandamonium. Game number 1, dominating display, Team Pandemonium. Really no other word for it. 0 kills allowed by Legacy Esports, and only good at solo on Thor. 1,732 damage. Just not what you want to see out of a Thor. So we're gonna get ready for picks and bans here, Andy. And what do you think Legacy Esports need to do? They have the first pick in this game. What do they need to draft? What do they need to prioritize for that first pick?
I think they need to get something that just wins a lane. Last time they came up against an Elite Sylvanas lane, which you're not going to outpush. They picked Sol into Vulcan, which just won't get pushed. And they had to face Ravana in solo lane because Ravana was first picked, and that just doesn't get beaten. They need to make sure they get a dominant lane somewhere.
I feel like it should be the Ravana in the solo lane. Like, it worked so well for Kikyomiya last time. Shred an experienced solo lane, it should definitely make it work, at least a little bit better. And it takes away as well from Kikyomiya. It takes away something safe from him. Rai did the first ban from Legacy, and Freya banned out by Team Pandemonium. Naja banned by Legacy Esports, so they don't want to deal with that from Ro out of the jungle.
Yeah, I could tell that this Naja ban was coming. It was just such a pivotal pick for Pandemonium in the last game that if you let it through again, and let's play it again, it's just, no, you're going to lose. Terra going to be the first pickup from Legacy Esports. The first time I'm actually going to be commentating over it in competitive play.
Yeah, so it's actually, it's the first pick of it in the OPL because it wasn't allowed last, but we've seen a little bit of it in the SPL. Provides a good amount of CC, a hell of a lot of sustain and some good team fight with that Terra's Blessing ultimate, giving you movement speed, CDR, and a little bit of a health boost if you get hit 4 times. As well as that, it provides a lot of lane pressure when you get that monolith, you dash through it, gives you a lot of tick damage to help with the wave clear. But that means they've left open the Raven and the Neath for Team Pandemonium. So already we pretty much have 2 lanes that are going to be won by the Pandas.
Well, Terra can win a lane by herself simply because the threat of that giant AoE route and the damage that could come out from it is so scary. And it's simply why Enemy lost that first game against Saw, because Terra just played phenomenally. And then Sylvanas get picked up again from Pandemonium. Well, they can't draft the exact same compass last time because Naja was banned, but they're going to draft something very similar.
We could see as well the Vermont and Kronos were picked up by Legacy Esports, and I think that's a very early Vermont pick. Surely you're going up against a Neath. Grab yourself an ADC here that can do well in lane. With a Terra, you get something like an Anhur, which HS has played really well with over the course of last split, but instead going to pick up the Vermont. So maybe that's like what Legacy feels as a counter pick to the Raven. But we'll just have to wait and see. As Alquang banned out by Team Pandemonium, Janus banned out by Legacy Esports. So again, taking that one away from a cheater. Don't want to see him on it. I expect as well to see a Vulcan ban after this Janus as well, after the amount of work that Ochita did on it.
Well, if they ban out the Vulcan, Team Pandemonium just go, okay, we'll take that. We'll just pick up Scylla. You're basically putting a Cronus in that mid lane, and there goes a Vulcan ban. So we don't have to pick something with that great of push, because Cronus doesn't have that great of push either. And it really has to get on to about level 6 or 7 before he can really full clear away with 2 abilities. The Freya ban, pretty much standard at this point. If you're going as a Neath, you want to just remove all threat of being able to be boxed against earlier on. Actually going to pick up from Team Pandemonium this time, actually, for the mid lane, so no combination there.
Yeah.
Well, potentially
the Vulcan was banned.
Depends on what's picked.
Yeah, the Vulcan was banned, so they, next strength is the Agni. I like this one because it provides huge area damage with those ultimate. Barkasura and Apollo picked up here for Legacy Esports. So the Barkasura suggests to me that they're going to look to be aggressive in the jungle, steal away some buff camps. The Apollo suggests to me that they want to split push. I think it's a good backup plan.
Oh, I like the Wheelix pickup. Sylvanas, AoE, Raptor, knock up into one of them is going to get pulled and immediately blown up. But the Bakasura pick, Legacy Esports was saying, only got a solo got invaded too many times, just lost all pressure in the jungle, let's just go and pick something that just can secure his own buffs.
But the Wheelix as well is very strong against the Bakasura, because Bakasura comes in, does damage, tries to jump away, Wheelix pulls him back in, or he jumps into a buff camp, and before he can land, Wheelix pulls him in and bursts him down with the feather step. So a smart pickup here from Team Pandemonium.
I mean, Baxter is the only person on the side of Legacy with a leap, so this Wheelix pick is basically saying, we're going to invade Oligado Solo, we're going to kill him over and over again, like we did last game, and just make sure that this Bakasura is a non-threat. And it's very difficult to do that with against the Bakasura, though, because Whilst Thor, you could shut him down early and make his level 5 a lot less impactful. With Bakasura, he's always going to be impactful at level 5 because of a Butcher's Blade's true damage.
Let's talk a little bit about the mid matchup between the Kronos and the Agni. Kronos a very late game pick for Legacy. Agni pretty good wave clear at all levels, and so that's going to give them mid push. It's going to allow Cheetah and Ro to have a little bit more rotations to either the side lanes or to the buff camps. So I like the pickup here from Team Pandemonium. Something else that would have been nice might have been something like a Poseidon. It gives you an extra knock-up and a good cripple against the Bakasura and the Apollo and the Terra that all have dashes.
And again, Ro picks up this Wrath. He doesn't need the Purification against the Bakasura. The only thing he really would need it against would be the Terra and the Kronos. But it's very easy to avoid the Kronos stun, so it's really just the Terra that he's worried about. He's not going to be going over to that dual lane early on. Instead, he's going to be focusing on the mid lane. Again, Agony and Ole Gunnar have got to combine incredibly well to make sure they don't get caught out by this Ro pick.
Well, right-hand side mid-camp's already completed here by Team Pandemonium, and look at this, they've learnt, Andy. They must have heard you between games. We can't get the right-hand side mid-camps, but go for the left-hand side ones.
It's such a basic thing to think of, but no one really thinks about it until it happens to you, until you die on those right-side harpies with an invade coming up with the solo laner, and you think, okay, that's something we needed to think about before. And this Agni pick, it's a bit suspect in my opinion. The dash can get crippled out by the cripple from Ole Gunnar Solo's ultimates, the Regurgitate, and can get stopped by the stop time from Agony.
The early camps fell to Team Pandemonium as well. Kikimio pressuring Shred under lane here early, as you would expect from that a Raven could do. Pandemonium checking out the left-hand side mid-camps, see that they're taken, back away straight back to lane. But it means that Legacy have gotten themselves a back camp here early, so they've kind of equalized a lot of the experience difference that they felt from the early camps. But Team Pandemonium have got back camps of their own to do, so Team Pandemonium going to be looking to take the full advantage of this minor lead early, and they certainly know how to press an advantage as soon as they get one.
Well, surprise, surprise, needs Sylvanas as push.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at something in Smite that's going to be a show, and it's like Bakasura can kill people at level 5.
Yeah. I mean, this is why the Terra pick was good for lane clear and sustain. But this is why I wanted something like an Anha rather than the Apollo, because the Apollo not going to have very effective wave clear whatsoever. Combine the Terra with an Anha, going to be able to clear this wave very nicely. And they picked the Apollo before they knew an Awilix was there as well.
I would like to have seen a Chiron, maybe, because it's, again, a dash, it's very safe, gives a bit of sustain, and also, you can place down your wave clear and then back away. You don't need to be there for it to go off.
Alrighty, 2.5 minutes in this game. Nearly as much aggression in this game as we saw from the last one. No kills on the board yet. Richard Castle going for a blind pull there onto HS. Maxon misses the Spirit Arrow as well, so HS dodging around those abilities, but it means that a lot of this wave is getting pushed towards their tower. Weave dashes in, gets a root, and good clear there from the tower when you break that monolith, so they're going to avoid losing out on any gold underneath the tower.
Ro and Ochida managing to pick up those elementals. Going to go back to bases. Ro pick up his boots and then head straight towards that speed buff, which will be spawning in the next 15 seconds. It's good discipline and good timers coming out from Pandemonium, and it's very difficult to invade on a jungler who knows exactly when he should be going towards these buffs.
Oh, look at this invade from Only Good at Solo here. Does have the Eat Minions. Rose here, jump over the wall, but no sun here. There's the Moonlight Charge as well, trying to come out. Oh, the World Weaver, the immunity there from the Purification just barely lasts in order to keep that CC immunity off him. And Only Good at Solo doesn't invade the red. HS247 uses it across the skies to come dashing in here now. There's the firebombs. Stunned out is Ro. Richard Castle went for a pull. Not going to find it here. So a lot of ultimates burned for not really much effect here on both teams.
It was a very difficult situation there for Panda because they got the Pollock onto the back of Surge. Just unfortunate timing there from Maxon on that World Weaver. If you waited just a split second longer, the CC immunity from that Regurgitate would have gone down, would have been to stun. And, well, it's very difficult.
Oh, the bait there from Kikimio. He went to invade the blue buff. Solo ran out, used that Mystic Rush to get himself out of danger, and Only Good at Solo jumped in. Surprise, who's there? Ro.
It's just a classic bait, going for the invade, forcing over the jungler, then running towards your own jungler, because it's that mentality from a jungler's perspective. You're trying to invade my jungle, not on my watch, come here, I'm going to kill you. Oh no, you've baited me in, I'm dead.
First Blood, again to Pandemonium, Legacy OCE, yet to pick up a kill both in this game and in the last one. So hopefully they can buck the trend this game. And, looking at their team composition, I'm sure they will.
Well, First Blood may have gone to a different player on Team Pandemonium, but it was against the same player on Legacy on Only Good at Solo, and the trend continues where he's just not getting any kills.
He's done decent damage this game. He's done more than half the damage he did. Actually, he's done close to half the damage he did last game. 716 damage done so far. So he's on a good trend in that aspect at least.
I know what's going on now. Legacy, with that Regurgitates, can do this Gold Fury incredibly early. And they know that Rose Wrath will most likely be down with the speed buff being taken away. So they can just look to just burst this Gold Fury down and take it for a nice early boon of gold.
They need to be very careful about when they time this, however, as well. Because when you look at Team Pandemonium's comp, they can come in and destroy you when you're doing an objective like that. With the Agni, he gets the bomb stun off. You're pretty vulnerable there. Richard Castle can come in and knock everyone up, put everyone in a very bad spot.
There's intelligent building as well from Pandemonium. Double Wingblade coming out from the support and jungler. And that's going to shut down Bakasura's kill potential early on. So he wants to slow you with that Regurgitate to then get a couple of basic attacks in before he gets his Fatalis online. And the Wingblade's just going to mean, well, I'm slowed, not anymore. I'm actually sped up because of you, and I'm going to run away. Left-hand side, potential gag coming out as Weave just tries to help clear the wave as Ro makes his way back into mid lane.
We do take a look at the solo lane as well. We can see Shred not being put out as much this game as he was last game, and now he's now that he's playing the Verman rather than Amaterasu. So clearly he does like this pick, and actually contributes a lot towards the later stages of the game as well. With that Colossal Fury ultimate, just being able to do so much damage, and provides decent slows and decent damage as well. So I like this pickup out of Legacy OCE, but they really need to make it work a little bit earlier than probably what they're thinking at the moment.
Better warding from Legacy this game as well to catch out these rotations to this left-hand side. HS247 incredibly safe with the ward coverage that they do have on the aggressive paths for Team Pandemonium, which they have been taking more often than not. And it's really shutting down Ro's ability to start snowballing this slender lead, which he has.
We can see Kikimiya pushing a wave pushing a wave out of his tower here. Shred not using his teleport, knowing that he'll get back to lane in time to prevent this wave going in. Or actually, it's probably just he's going to get to his blue buff in time as well. Could look, Kikimiya could potentially look to have a go at a steal there. Probably not the best thing to do with Ro not around. Ro actually looking at Weave here. Doesn't get the stun off Weave. There is the Monolith as well. Ochita stuns out too. Agony takes a fair bit of damage here. Left-hand side mid-camp's going to be started up by Team Pandemonium. So good kind of splitting of Legacy's forces there for the Pandas. And now they're turning their sights to the Gold Fury. This is what Legacy strategy was supposed to be. Get an early Gold Fury, but Team Pandemonium are the ones starting it up. And Ro does have his Wrath up.
Well, whilst Legacy Esports do have good damage potential in the Gold Fury, they don't have good secure potential, and that's where the Wrath comes in, and that's why Team Pandemonium just have said, you can't do this Gold Fury whilst Ro is alive, and it's been very difficult to actually get at Ro to poke him and to kill him. I don't think he's actually taken any bit of damage this game, because every single time he's been in the fight, people have just been running away from him.
Yeah, we don't have a stat for that. I was trying to see if maybe we had a stat for how much damage you've taken, but there's not one. Hyros, get on it. We need that.
Yeah, we need to know this information right now. We need to know if Ro is technically immortal or not.
Yeah, I know. Seeing him at Worlds, he can definitely get mortal. I don't know if that's an English, if you know that phrase in England. But getting mortal is getting drunk. So there you go.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, you learn something new every day. We don't have that. We just say any form of object in the house, and that can usually mean getting drunk.
Yeah, Richard Castle here gets eaten by Only Good at Solo. HS picks up a kill on the Max, and this is some good turnaround here from Legacy. Good counterplay, and now the Gold Fury being started up by the boys in green. There it is, already at about 50% HP. Only Good at Solo doing so much work with that true damage on it. Legacy take the Gold Fury. Good signs here, and now they have 2 kills as well. That's 200% more kills than they had last game. I don't even think. I think it's infinity more percent.
Yeah, it's infinite more percent. You don't know percentages. It's actually 2 more kills than they got last game. If we're being very pedantic here.
I mean, and what else do we love to do other than be pedantic? So yeah, very good. That's our job. Okay, very good signs though from Legacy at this stage in the game. They secured the Gold Fury. They secured themselves some kills. I think more important than the Gold Fury there was the kills, because it gives Legacy some confidence in this game.
And this is exactly what I expected out of Legacy last game, but it just never really came out. The fight back never really happened. Only got a solo, very low, gonna get plucked up by the gravity surge, but the purification stops that kill from going down. And they know that Roll will us down for the next 85 seconds.
And he knows next time he jumps away, he's going to get pulled back in. And what I like there from Ro as well is that, or what I like about this Willix against the Barkasura is if he gets up close to you and starts, the Willix gets up close to you and starts doing damage, if you jump away, she's going to pull you straight back in. So you got to make sure, you don't burn your purification for needless CC. And, there's always a great temptation to burn it for things like the Sylvanas route or the Agni Bomb Stun. And the later we get into this game, the more of those things you will actually have to purify because they'll lead to your death with the amount of damage that can be put out by Team Pandemonium's team comp.
What you have to also remember is only got a solo's ricochet, all of it has a 1.5 second CC immunity, which is more than enough time for him to pop it and then leap away without getting plugged in. Good double stuff from Ochita, there's a good use there as well as the Flame Wave. We've going to get knocked up and the Feather Step's going to be there as well. The Terra's Blessing coming out as well, just for trying to escape as Weave just gets out with barely little HP.
Maxon steals away the mids there with his Spirit Arrow away from Agony. HS247 across the skies, crashing down onto Ochita. Ro picks up the kill, but HS gets one in return onto Ochita. Richard Castle stunned out. Agony now the target for Team Pandemonium. Looking for a Feather Step is Ro, but a good knockup from Shred stops the damage coming out. Here's the Colossal Fury. Maxon picks up Agony. Kiki Amio teleports to a ward in the mid lane. The baby's doing what damage he can, but it's not enough at this stage of the game. And Pandemonium pressing their advantage and look like they're going to take a tower in the mid lane.
The 2-for-1 trade and the tower, I'll take that any day of the week. Especially if I am Ochita and I died. I'll say, look, it was worth. And the Divine Ruin actually coming out from Ochita played a good role there in getting a kill onto Agony and Oligan solo because they weren't healing nearly as much from that Terra's Blessing.
Good damage in the mid lane onto Shred, but Tier 1 tower not going to be picked up. Shred forced it back. If we take a look at him, does he have his teleport online? Has it online in 2 seconds, so he might be able to get back and defend this Tier 1 tower on the right-hand side, but Kiki Amio can get in there quick enough, should still be able to take it regardless.
The teleport's coming out from Shred. He's going to clear that wave, and that's going to be a safe tower for now, but it's very low. Pandamonium can just go over there, sneeze on it, and get 500 gold.
Alrighty, so taking a look at the graphs, we can see experience pretty much even at this point in the game. Gold a little bit in favor of Team Pandemonium, despite the Gold Fury from Legacy Esports.
That's just great farming coming out from Pandemonium, and they've split camps very efficiently. They've allowed Ro to get a couple of camps by himself just to help him get a bit more ahead, but the majority of camps have been split 2/3 ways, and Ochita's just really been feeling that. He's even on gold with Agony. He's died once, got an assist, but it's all about this jungle matchup right now between Ro and Oligan Solo. They're in the mid game right now. They've hit their massive power spikes. They've gotten to where they need to be in terms of an item build at this stage of the game. What can they do with it?
Ro hasn't died yet in either game. It's only been on the side of Team Pandemonium, the left-hand side of their comp, the duo lane in the mid. But Ro doing very well for himself. Same with Kiki Amio, actually. Ro got himself a wing blade here early, and I actually like this against a Barkasura and with the amount of slows that come out from Legacy's team comp. Especially with the Terra. The Terra provides a surprising amount.
I mean, yeah, that's that nice slam with the 2 walls. I can't remember what the ability's called. Terra's only just been allowed in competitive play, guys, please. But that
Crushing
Earth. Crushing Earth, that's the one. That provides a very substantial slow, and it's a very easy slow to get off and hit. So it's the Wingblade just means that they're not going to be really hit by the stun afterwards as well.
Terra's Blessing used because Agony is feeling the pressure in the mid lane. World Weaver comes out, but he's still immune from the purification. Good 2-man knock-up from Richard Castle. Ro taken very low here, jumping away. Weave looking to get something. HS247 crashing across the skies. Feather Step keeps Ro alive for now, but the tick damage from Weave's broken monolith gets the kill there on to the jungler from Team Pandemonium. There's the bomb from Ochita. Great pull from Richard Castle. Weave nowhere to run, son. Down he goes. Maxon picks up the kill. Pandemonium trade out 1-for-1, but really it's in favor of Legacy as they pick up the jungler for a lowly support. But the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane might fall down because Legacy can't defend it.
I think it's also a massive kill because they finally destroyed Ro. He's, 34 minutes of play? Died once, finally. And this mid tower looks like it's going to meet the same fate. Kiki Amio just doing a bloody counter zone away the members of Legacy as Pandemonium make their escape into the jungle.
So after all is said and done, trade in favor of Team Pandemonium with that mid tower falling down. A much more even game this time than last time. Graphs still pretty normalized at this stage of the game. The kills normalized as well. A tower falling down for Legacy, but they did secure themselves a Gold Fury. Speaking of which, Team Pandamonium starting up the Golden Harpy right now.
Well, the Gold Fury last time was done pre-9 minutes, I want to say about 7 minutes in, so it wasn't going to be worth that much. Agony going to get bursted as Rewind is down. Zilligan tries to peel with a Regurgitate.
Shred has teleported in though. Ro in a very bad spot. He manages to jump away. A lot of damage coming out from Shred. Feather Step though from Ro. There's the Terra's Blessing. Legacy Shred up in the big baby form. Ro dies again, twice in about as many minutes. And looks like Legacy actually starting to turn this fight. Wrath of Terror there from Richard Castle. A lot of damage though actually coming out from this Terror on to Team Pandamonium. And they're forced to back away under their tower. Legacy starting up the Gold Fury for the second time in this game. And it looks like Pandamonium can't even contest.
And that's a very weird model displacement from Weave, putting it well away from where you want to pull the Gold Fury to. Out comes the Agni Bombs, looking to try and get a kill into the Gold Fury. Legacy do secure it under their own steam, and we'll just go back away. Unless Kikyomi has something to say about this, because he's there, he wants to fight all 4 of them.
Weave, though, gets a good route onto Maxon and Kikimio. Only Good Solo takes away the mid-camps as well. So overall, a very good engagement for Legacy OCE. And they finally have themselves a lead in this game. 5-4 in the kills and in the experience and gold difference. It's 1,800 experience, 1,300 gold. So, an actual lead at some point for Legacy OCE. So that's good signs for them in this game.
It's a very minor lead. At 16 minutes in, you want to be about 3,000, 4,000 gold into the lead to really say you've got a substantial advantage. Otherwise, it's just a minor nuisance for the team that's behind. Because they can fight into that pretty easily, and both of these teams have been engaging well, both of these teams have been winning fights, losing fights, and it's a nice even contest here.
That's the important thing, though, is that Legacy aren't behind. All of last game they were behind, and for a fair bit of the early game in this one, so finally at a position where they themselves are equal with Team Pandamonium, and so now maybe perhaps we'll start seeing some more team fights initiated by Legacy where they're looking to really fight Team Pandamonium rather than reacting to Panda's aggression.
Sorry, eating them. He's got his Fatalis and Kinsize Online. Going to go into the Egg Vial next, I believe, just so he can just shred through anybody who goes anywhere near him. Kikyomi running away after getting the tower, as Ro and Richard Castle and Ochita come in for the support.
Look at this rotation. World Weaver comes through from Max and connects with Weave. Richard Castle picks up the kill. Richard Castle picks up a double kill. Sylvanas is carrying this team. Ro sanctuaries beautifully to avoid all the damage from Agony. HS247 is up in the sky, looking to come crashing down somewhere. Not going to be able to get it. Agony rewinds, but he rewinds back right into the face of Ro, who knocks him up. Doesn't manage to get the pull in as the purification is burned on the mid laner from Legacy. Here comes Richard Castle. The flank. And the Kikyomi picks up the kill.
And Bro still is almost died to a rogue basic attack from HS247. Out come the Wisps, out comes the Sustain, and out comes the siege potential from this Team Pandemonium composition. Thanks to this Sylvanas, who I thought was going to be a low tier pick and we weren't really going to see at all. But the recent buffs he's received have just put him in a very nice spot.
And look at this, the whole time this fight was going on, this is the strength of a Neath, like it's the strength of an Apollo. You can go, keep pressure in your lane, and contribute to the team fight. That World Weaver devastated Weave and got him out of the fight before he could really get any sustain off. In fact, he respawned in time to get a Terra's Blessing to disengage the teams after the fight happened, but Maxon, split push on the left-hand side, took down 2 towers. Now, all towers on the left and right-hand sides are down. Only the tier 2 tower in the mid remains for Legacy.
Okay, you know how we were talking about Legacy having a slender advantage? Pandemonium have just said, nah, we ain't about that life, we're going to take the advantage now, and they've got themselves a lead in both experience and gold. 4,300 experience, 4,000 gold in the lead. As I said before though, 4,000 not that big of a deal, Legacy can still fight into it.
So taking a look at Legacy, one of them's got a Witchblade. Weave's got himself a Witchblade online here. So good amount of physical protection, but reduces attack speed and physical power within the radius. And now I think it's really the physical power that's the important part rather than necessarily the attack speed. Only got solo, forced to burn purification. Shred takes some damage here from Ochita, and that was also the Regurgitate also used from Only Good at Solo. So that's important as Pandemonium look towards this Fire Giant. But as I was saying, the Witchblade, Wee's really looking there to take power away from Kikyomi and Ro, rather than necessarily attack speed away from Maxon.
Well, Kikyomi is saying, well, you take away some of my power, I'll take away yours. Zakini gets absolutely obliterated. What happened to Kronos?
They took away his life. HS247 down from the sky. We've taken low here. Ro looking to bait here only good at solo, trying to get Row here, but the sustain not quite enough from Richard Castle. Ochita, Sanctuaries, trying to get out of the damage. Maxon picks up only good at solo. Ochita is out of the fight for now, but good sustain coming through from Richard Castle. They're looking for Shred and HS247. HS doesn't have his ultimate to escape, forced to use his purification and his dash to get away. Kiki Mio, no Mystic Rush available to engage a T-fight. Weave there, actually walled in Shred. Oh no, he killed his own teammate. Maxon picks up the kill. Weave, oh my no, son, you just killed your solo laner. Buffs being taken away from Team Pandemonium. Great fight from the Pandas.
I wouldn't call killing it, we'll say sacrifice him to the gods to make sure that everybody else gets out A-okay. To take Shred, we don't care, take Shred. Leave us alone, please.
Yeah, look, his ultimate makes him grow really big. Let's give him for all of you.
Fire Giant going to be started up. He's plenty big for everybody to be taken down here. And you need to take it down as a team, which Pandemonium are doing to perfection. Agony going to be rotating back in. He's alive somehow after the obliteration last time, and he's forced to rewind already. He knew what happened last time. He saw anything happen again.
Yeah, straight away, but it took him out just in time for to secure that Fire Giant. Richard Castle taken down, shut down there by Agony. HS247 coming in across the skies as well, looking for Ochita, but deciding to bet off it, turning onto Kiki Amiyo, but not going to do any damage to that Raven at this stage of the game. And now Legacy going to try and steal away the buffs from Team Pandemonium, but Panda's already having stolen away the buffs from Legacy. Not going to care. We've got the Fire Giant.
They've got four members with the Fire Giant. They're going to lose their mid tower here, straight going into that bit Colossal Fury form just to try and get as much damage to as possible. They're just going to get this tier 1 tower and back off because they can't fight into this Fire Giant to Team Pandemonium anymore.
You know, again, not a big losing that one tower. You know, it is a mid lane tower, which is relatively important, but given the amount of towers they've taken away from Legacy, Pandemonium are going to cop that one on the chin and, you know, count it worth.
Yeah, and Legacy, they've got to find a way back into this game. They're going to stay strong and defend at the Phoenixes. This mid tier 2, it's basically dead. There's no reason to defend it. There's no reason to even be there. Just go back, defend at the Phoenixes for the next 4 minutes, wait for the Fire Giant to go down from Team Pandemonium, and then start to look for engagements again.
Alrighty, Gold Fury taken down by Team Pandemonium. Grass, you know, still actually not too bad for Legacy. It's only 3,000 experience difference, 4,800 gold. And considering the amount of towers that are down on the side of Legacy, that's not too bad at this stage in the game. You know, remember, they still have a Kronos. He's only 2 levels behind a Cheetah. There's still a chance for this Kronos to come online and start really being impactful. We've pulled in here, going to be bursted down here. Cheetah credited with the kill. Only got a solo bursted down by Kiki Amiyo as well. Agony not able to do much here. Shred desperately frontlining for his team, trying to save the tower's life, but it's not going to be enough from the solo lane of Legacy. Now Team Pandemonium looking to pressure down the Phoenix, and there's just not enough damage coming out from Legacy to be able to stop this.
They tried to defend at the tower, mistake 1. They then tried to engage 1 by 1, mistake 2, and now they're trying to defend at Phoenix 3 versus 5. This could be mistake 3 for Agony.
Well, he's not going to even get a chance to rewind. HS247 across the skies. Comes in, it does some damage and forced out straight away. Middle Phoenix going to be taken down very quickly. And the Sylvanas, again, very strong in this situation. You know, you're already getting lots of regeneration from the Fire Giant. The Sylvanas Wisp heal as well. Going to be incredible for this team.
And getting the Phoenix furthest away from the Fire Giants. Team Pandemonium playing this one as you would expect it to be done. They got rid of the mid Phoenix now on the left-hand side. Going to be receiving a double stun though, so this Phoenix not going down as quickly as you would like.
Gotta remember though, all of the ultimates Agonies have been burnt on the side of Legacy, so Team Pandemonium could still look to effectively engage here. There's not really much that Legacy can do. Only Good at Solo has respawned. Shred rooted in place by Kiki Amiyo. Left-hand side Phoenix under 25% HP. And, you know, Pandemonium, they're poking out Legacy. Legacy can force return to the base. Pandemonium go out of Phoenix range, heal up a little bit, re-engage under the Phoenix. There's some good bombs there from Ochita. Agony forced to rewind. Walls not going to be doing too much there from Weave. Only Good at Solo. Pops a Regurgitate. Good knock up there from Richard Castle and pulled in. It's HS247. He's looking to get out, but Richard Castle with the Wisp claims 1 kill. Only Good at Solo falls to Ochita. Weave dashes in, roots 3 in place, but it's not going to last for long enough. And there's no heals for his team now. Team Pandemonium all under 50% HP, but they have a Sylvanas. They will be absolutely fine.
I think this actually could very well be given. It's definitely going to be this left side Phoenix the second they heal up with the Wisps, because they haven't got that Regurgitate, they haven't got that ADC damage coming out, so it's very difficult to defend. Shred very low already. He's popped his... Okay, that was a very weird glitch. Popped his ultimate, went back down straight away, and then popped it again.
Titan under attack by Legacy. The World Weaver from Maxon and Kiki Amiyo's onslaught got to be enough to secure the kill onto the Kronos. Left-hand side Phoenix falls. Pandemonium can now safely back away and count themselves a good day's work done.
Well, you get a tower, 2 phoenixes, and 1 fire giant buff, and your support doesn't even have one. That's a good day. Fire giant buff despawns now, and you're going to look to try and get the next one and then end the game. Like I say, this is the 1 minute window of opportunity to defend and get something to get themselves back into the game.
Brass, nothing has hit 10k lead for Team Pandamonium. It's 8,300 experience, 9,500 gold. So there's still a chance, a slight chance, but there's still a chance for Legacy. 2 Phoenixes down, though, really not going to help their cause here. What they really need to do at this point is have HS split push like he's starting to do now, and just keep that split push going. He's already started up Titan's Bane to do some effective damage to the towers. He's got an Ickfall as well. So if HS can keep the split push up, this could be something good for Legacy here. We can see only got a solo start in that as well. Takes out the tower on the right-hand side. Fire Giant spawning in 10 seconds. HS just needs to commit to a decision here. Either needs to split push down the tower or get over to this Fire Giant very soon.
Well, they've shown that they can't fight into Team Pandemonium anymore, and they've just been running amok in these team fights. They have got a couple of kills for themselves, have Legacy. They just need to look for a steal on this Fire Giant. They're not even going to do that. Going to group up, huddle, and defend. They think they can fight into the Fire Giant and Team of Pandemonium once again. Last time was only a 4k lead. This time it's a 10k lead. Best of luck, gentlemen.
I don't understand why HS is staying at the base here. Why, he could put the Titans Bane. Yeah, I guess, you want that extra power online, but now he's not even going back to split push on the left-hand side to push away the fire minions. He's sitting here doing nothing. He's not earning any gold, he's not earning any experience, and he's not keeping any pressure away from his team. And, he's an Apollo. You're worried about not being there to contribute to the fight for your team. You press the 4 button and fly back to base.
Oh, he just dashes into a wall as well to combine on that. A bit of unfortunate timing there. Right hand side, this Phoenix is under a lot of potential pressure right now. 5 members of Pandemonium have the Fire Giant buff rather than the 4 last time as Weave looks for the engage, but there's just no follow-up.
Red knocked up, pulled in by Rowe into the Colossal Fury. World Weaver on the mark from Maxon takes down the big baby. So that is a big part of Legacy's team composition taken down. Literally a big part, given how big that baby is. Weave goes in, roots 3 in place. Kikyomiyo jumps in with the Mystic Rush. Agony rewinds, but he rewinds pretty much straight back into Kikyomiyo's face. Rowe picks up Weave, and now this is the beginning of the end for Legacy. Only got a solo, desperately doing damage. It's not going to be enough. Ochita forced to dash away. HS247, excellent Sanctuary and Purification combo there to keep himself alive, but no such luxuries available for the right-hand side Phoenix. It falls down. 5 minions are here. Middle Phoenix is taken down. This is curtains for Legacy OCE.
Pandemonium take a very surprisingly easy 2-0. The first game was not what you expected at all. The second game, a bit more of a back onto familiar territory, with Legacy fighting tooth and nail, and one of the 2 teams getting out into a lead in the mid/late game to the point where they have an insurmountable lead. And that's exactly what happened. Pandemonium, they had another pick-based comp, and they played it again to perfection. But Legacy, they played some great defense that game, and they managed to pick off some people, they managed to get some leads here and there, and they managed to get some favorable fights for themselves. They just couldn't find enough, though.
It's very surprising to see Legacy, who dominated the regular split last time, fall down so short in game number 1. Game number 2, was kind of like what we saw when they split last time. They played in week 7 last split, but again, just disappointing overall from Legacy, but very impressive from Team Pandemonium, and we are on the line now with the captain and jungler of Team Pandemonium, Rowe. So, Rowe, how are you feeling after those victories?
Pretty good, actually. The first game especially. The second game was a little sloppy by me, but after all, being back in the jungle for 1 week, I think, and Kiki being in solo for 1 week as well, I think pretty impressive to take down Legacy in 1 week.
Well, obviously we got to talk about those roster changes here. Essentially, a completely different team from last split. Only Ochita still in the same role that he was at the start of last split. You yourself moving back to the jungle and new players in the solo and AD carry position. So talk to us about the players that you've acquired yourself.
Yeah, it looks like a big change from the outside, but some people are forgetting that we had a decent amount of practice with Richard after LAN. We only had 4 nights of practice with him before LAN, but we also had practice with Max and ADC while Subfloor was away 4 weeks of the last split. So it isn't too much of a shift, especially with me being, a year and a half in the jungle. Kiki, obviously, a completely new role. I don't know how many roles he's played now, but it's getting a little ridiculous.
All of them except support.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, but yeah. I think, we're all talented players. We all fit well together, personality-wise. So it fit together easier than most people would think. But at the same time, we have a lot to work on.
Game number 1 was probably one of the most dominating performances we've seen in OCE SMITE, with Legacy unable to pick up the kill, and Legacy with the big bad guys last split as well, only dropping, I think, about 3 games. So, did you really expect to come out that strong against last season's regular split number 1 team?
I actually didn't, but I'm not surprised at the same time. Legacy did do pretty well against us in scrims, but once it comes to Pro League games, I think we all focus up pretty well.
Andy, any questions for our guest?
I suppose I just have a couple. Most people see Nemesis, Alquang, and Susano as the top 3 junglers, and you seem to have shone away from them on the gods like Naja, who had it banned away from you in game number 2. And you also played the Awelix. What do you think they bring to the table more so than the top 3 junglers?
Well, it's 2 things really. One, I haven't got too much experience on something like Alcon or many of the later game jungles just because I've been away from jungle so long. And 2, Awelix and Naja and things like that, the early game pressure gods are the gods that I have experience on from mostly last split, just because those are the gods I played while we had Swaya support. So it's more of just a comfortability thing at this point. We've only had 1 week of scrims, like I said, with me in the jungle, so once we get more practice on more gods, my god pool will increase, and so will some others.
Alright, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Of course, Team Razor, Chinglish, Pandamonium, all doing great things for us. You can follow us on Twitter at Pandamonium OCE right now, not GG, just because I've had some issues. But other than that, keep following our games. We're playing tomorrow as well because we have our double week, and we'll see you then.
And we hope to hear you back giving another interview then. Or maybe one of your teammates, Ochita here does excellent interviews.
Let's not go there.
All right, thank you very much, Ro, for joining us. That's going to do it for our first of the night. We have some more action to bring you. We have got Avant-Garde, champions of split number 2 of the OPL, and Royalty, a new team brought up from the Challengers Cup after successfully beating both Alpha City and Corvidae in relegation. So that's sure to provide some excellent action for you guys. But stick around, short break time. We'll be back with our second set of the night.